Mm. Mm. Mm.
Let me take you on a detour. Lend me your ears. It's real hip hop. Allow me to put this question to test. Do I call myself the best? Have I totally lost respect? Or I'm just a type who don't listen? I'm creating new waves, title change, stuff in the rap game, I grew pain. Senators and governors fighting for bills like who's paying? Waiters wondering, should I go home or choose staying? Is it the tip of the iceberg, or I'm just dreaming of eating a whole Nile perch? The guilt is holding me down. I earn a salary, but hip-hop forces me to see out like I'm just a slave to words in this world. Spilling so much saliva enough to fill the earth. Tell me why hold trades when I can be roasting the game? Introduce my Insta style and take over like Jay-Z had a long day. Stop the hate, contemplate, I'm on top of the race. Block my way and I'm up your face. Drop the player, I'ma draw the lane. Love the play, it's a modern day. It's not the same, the story's late. People tell me to write about economy. Man, it's the same thing, rather focus on astronomy. He's there on IG, getting ready to follow me. I should marry charity, cause the ones I'm giving for free make me look like a philanthropist. This level of expertise is purely magic. Very clever, like holding carrots trying to lure a rabbit. My rap book too has much power like the cool kid Tariq. If I happen to lose it, then I'ma need two affidavits. Musical excellence runs in me, bring the beat. I'm spiritually gifted, I make the mic speak to me. You gotta let me feed you cheese, and some people will probably increase your bon appetit. Forget bragging, this is a matter of more practice. Low acid, you had much sugar in your gastric. They thought their inability to see my value will clearly kill my high mood. I was torn between three girls I worked with, natural selection. You should ask Josh Darwin. I respect you for standing up and telling me the truth. Then he was finding and trying to make me a fool. I don't need a car at my age, I just need courage. With determination that will motivate you to seek some first aid. We cultivate, we can't be blamed, emancipate the best is letting me marinate this rap so great, don't fascinate beneath the outpace. I've been that man who gives you wisdom through writings, but funny enough, I find it hard to give it to you directly. My career is boiling, I don't let fear exploit me. I take things head on, regardless of whether I'm disappointing. Some applicant asked me, where do I buy my pen? I told him I don't buy, I pray for it, but it's my daily bread. Healthy like my days, feeling wealthy. I guess we have something in common, just like the MC. Let me remind you that hip-hop is alive and living. Most of us who found it here acknowledge it with pride and spirit. Yeah. Your pain is my people. Yes, the reassess DJ. It's a pretty nice call.
Yes, that is the reassess TJ. And the jam is actually jamming for real. You know, kuna wala watu wanasema wanafanya muziki na kuna reassess TJ ambaye anafanya actual music. And how do you feel about that particular jam? And before you even get that particular feedback, hey guys, I want to welcome you to the show. This is a podcast show live, and I do hope that everyone is well and you're happy to be with us on the show today. We are representing. I happen to have my Pumzi Hub t-shirt on here. Niulize pia Rachel, where is your Young Force t-shirt? Uliona Rachel na Young Force t-shirt.
Mbona haukutu update what is happening?
Anyhow, how are you doing, Rachel?
I'm good.
Welcome to the show.
I'm actually very good, and that song is actually dope. But let me ask you the name of the artist again.
Reassess TJ. Anaitangwa TJ. Reassess TJ. Umesikiaje hiyo song?
Okay.
Yeah.
So sawa. Alafu nikuulize.
Yeah.
Kwani amevaa nini ni zile unajua zile diamond teeth or something?
The things you can actually ukifika bei unafanyisha unaweka hizo whatever, I don't know what they call it, but si kama ni grills. Yeah, but ameamua.
Inafanya voice iwe thick like
ameamua. So
yeah.
How has your weekend been?
Not bad actually. My weekend was great. It was one of the good ones.
One of the good ones. Imekuwa weekend ya highlights. Ni kama ina sound kama imekuwa the highlights. A whole lot of things have been happening over that particular weekend and also last week. And we want to get straight into that simply because there is now new music, and we shall be talking about the new music that has dropped. And we do have the one and only Victoria Kimani. You know, people are waiting for her project, and we shall be talking about her music and, of course, her journey. But before we get into that, I want to bring to our attention um, one of the things that has been said about Gen Z, because in
Hmm.
this whole year will be about Gen Z. I think the way things are going, this whole year will be about Gen Zs. Na itakuwa hii ni
I
yao. Ni
agree.
kama this is Gen Zs here. So what has happened is that Ruto, the president William Ruto, he has actually gone out there on a recent speech, and he was saying that things will now be very, very serious. He will not allow a group of people to destroy the country and all these things. And he said that the Gen Zs, when he actually invited them to when they actually invited him to the X Spaces, he said
Mm-hmm.
that Gen Zs walitoroka. That is what he did say, that Gen Zs walitoroka. And there were people who did disagree with him, saying that Gen Zs walitoroka. And
Yeah.
for me, I know that Osama was a host. I understand Osama was a host for that
Yeah.
particular show. And there are many people that have actually talked about how that particular show was organized, how that particular show was organized. And this is what Ruto was actually saying. Let me share these briefly so that you can see the comment by the president here when he was talking about what happened or what has been happening. He said, "We cannot surrender our democracy to faceless, formless, and anonymous anarchists. They rejected the finance bill 2024. I dropped it. I invited them for a dialogue. They refused. I went to meet them on X. They didn't show up. My friends, it cannot continue like this. It has to stop. Going forward, I promise I will protect the nation, life and property. Enough is enough." This is what the president did say. And then we do have a comeback, or we do have the response. And this was the response by Mr. Kife himself. Let me know what you think about this particular response here. Let me share these quick as you proceed.
Hey, what's up, Amelia? Why do you look so angry? Leave me alone, Ramiro. What do you even want to know? Oh, it's to congratulate the guy. She looks prettier than ever. Amelia, just keep pouting like that. What the heck are you saying? Oh, the blessed saints in heaven. Please tell this young woman to stop looking at me that way. Don't fall hard for her. Slap him, Amelia. He'll earn respect. Hey, you leave Amelia alone. I was about to slap you hard. But you know what? I learned that violence doesn't fix anything. Then you can give me some kisses. Maybe I'm gonna behave. Tell me something, Ophelia. Your wife works, doesn't she? What's your daughter like? What's her name again? Naye. Is she in high school? My wife works because she wants to, not because I don't support her. Oh, whatever. How would you like it if at schooling of your daughter Nayeli said those rude things to her that you just said to me? If you looked at her the way you gave at me, let me tell you something, Ordelia. Maybe right at this moment there's somebody like you harassing your wife. And you don't know what kind of man he is. Maybe he's telling your wife the things you told me. Treats her like you treat me. But then for you, or to many men like you, that's just horrible. And it's fine if that happens. Touch my wife or my daughter. I'll beat him to a pulp. I'll make sure you'll beat his baby. I used to think the same way too. I wanted to beat the hell out of every one of you, but that just isn't going to work. I'll just be wasting my strength and time if I choose to beat all of you. Then what? Nothing's gonna change. First it was Ramiro and now it's you. Do you know what the problem is? You don't have respect for each other and the people around you. Every time you insult a woman, every time you harass her, your self-respect goes down as well. That mentality, that attitude makes you disgusting. That's why we're really stuck. Because you all applaud harassment and humiliation. Don't ever do that. And don't do that to your wives and your children.
that is what was going on, and I would actually say that when it comes to the way X Spaces was conducted, I feel that haikufanyiwa vizuri sana. The way the X Spaces were conducted, really ilifanyiwa tu hivi hivi. If you do to ask me the way
Yeah.
whatever was the X Spaces was conducted. But what is your opinion about the president's remarks and also Kibe's comments on that particular video? Sijui kama Rachel unanisikia?
What people were saying about how. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Come again.
I'm saying
Yeah.
I agree with how people were. He couldn't say that in Nairobi. He
Yeah.
went to.
Yeah. How about Kibe's remarks?
That's how. That's the way he was speaking. He was.
Yeah. Pole kwa kuinterrupt, endelea. Sorry, guys. I understand we're having a bit of a hit on Rachel's end. But nonetheless, what I do feel personally is that the way that particular X was conducted was still wanting. Unajua unaangalia like how is it organized? First time it failed. Second time, the X failed. The X spaces failed. And then at that time, also it failed. And therefore, people had to keep on going out and kept coming back in. And if you do get to ask me, I think that X Spaces platform was not the right particular platform, because how many people are on X? Ni vijana wangapi wako on X and that were able to actually connect to that particular or plug into that particular X Spaces and listen to the dialogue, between the leader, the president, and also the citizens. I think that was not the right or the perfect platform. But nonetheless, I do feel that Kibe's remarks, when he says that kuja tena tuongee, I think the president, if you do get to ask me, the president nominating the same people to the same cabinet again, it shows that the president really has not learned much from the events over the previous 1 month or 1.5 months. The president, if you do get to ask me, I do feel that, ameona tu mambo imefanyika, and he still wants to go back to the way things were, going back to status quo. But then again, the main thing that led to this particular movement or this particular protest are going on is because people are tired of the status quo. But now, if you want things to settle down and go back to the status quo, then you're going to bring up the same problems again. But you were saying something, Rachel, before you disappeared. You were saying something?
Actually, I wasn't able to see Kibe's response, but I'm saying the same thing you're saying. That he's when I saw that, I was like, the president should repeat what he said again. Now to the people who are actually against what he's doing, because I feel like he went to people who not necessarily disagreeing with him, because that's where he comes from. Yeah. So everybody was saying that he should repeat it again, like in Nairobi, ama
and
tulitoroka.
Let me see if I'm able. You're saying umesema haujaona response ya Kibe. Let me share these Kibe's response here, and we get straight into it. And Jerikit, you're saying, what are we talking about? He clearly knows what people want. He knows what people want, but ni kama anajifanya hajui ni nini Wakenya wanataka. That is a problem. Like, you do have people who want change and are demanding change, but then you go around and you're like, watu najua wanataka change, but what I'll do is that I'll bring up the same individuals and do the same things I've been doing. And you cannot do the same things and expect the same or different results. This is what is going on.
Punis. Our beloved president amekuja akasema jana, amesemaje? Nilienda huko spaces wakatoroga walitoroga. Mr. President, I have a message for you, a very simple and clear message. Acha upioni, hiyo ni upioni, au kuja spaces. Ulienda ukachukua mtu kale kanongwe kanaitwa Osama ukakadominate mbele ya watu. What kind of victory is that? Unachukua the puniest, the weakest, alafu unamwekelea mbele ya watu, unamdominate, alafu unasema umeshinda, alafu sasa unasema kwa gari unajigamba ati nilienda hapo wakatoroga. Mr. President, hujakuja spaces bado. Kuja spaces uongee na wanaume vizuri, ana kwa ana, but don't take our weakest, our puniest. Kamsi ataka akakwa, he had never even run a space before, hata ajui baton gani anafaa kufinya, alafu unakuja unamchukua unasema huyu ndio sasa ndio sasa tutawak na yeye aje. Mr. President, what your puny? That's puny business. Come to the space if you want to have conversations. Kuja kwa space vizuri through the front door. Kuja useme nataka tuongee. Lakini usiende uchukue tu vijana utudominate mbele ya watu. Alafu useme sasa hawa nilienda kwa space wakatoroga. Hatukuwa we didn't even know what you were doing. Sisi tulikuwa tunaangalia tunasema hawa si wanadu nini. Because this is conversation. It looks like something private. We were just privy to a private conversation between two punies. So, Mr. President, this is a direct message to you. Haujakuja spaces. Haujaongea na wanaume. Kuja uongee na wanaume vizuri. Kuja ukae chini bila uoga, bila mtu kukuweka defense hapo. Have a proper conversation. Otherwise, don't talk about it. Usibonge hiyo story, wacha nayo. Wewe endelea na campaign zako na vile unafanya, but usibonge useme tulikuja spaces. Haukukam. Right now I dare you to come. Yeah. Because sisi hatukuogopi. We know what we want, so hatukuogopi. That's why you cannot come, because you know that we're afraid of telling you the truth. And see matusi, ni conversation too. Because most of the people you have around you are yes men. Kila mtu anasema tu yes. Sisi hatutaki hivyo bana. We want a real convo. If you cannot have a real convo, don't talk about the spaces. Wacha nayo. Hizo ni zetu. Leave that to
that is what was said by Kibe, and I think I missed it. Kama huko umeiona, that is that is what was said. You kuuliza reaction yako to Kibe's comeback?
I love it. I love how Kibe is saying that he did not talk with real men, and we are not afraid. He's saying that he's not afraid to address the president, and I love how he said it's not about insults. It's not about insults. It's just having facts with us and having a proper conversation. Because the live actually, I felt like people are just ranting randomly, but kukuwa like a proper a structure of a conversation. So that's what's missing.
I would agree with you because at the end of the day, there was an issue that was raised about how people get to address this particular matter, Namatusi, and going with a whole lot of bitterness and emotions. And the problem is, people need to put those things aside. People need to put those things aside and focus on facts. Be factual when people are actually talking about how to address these particular issues that are facing our country. But nonetheless, we shall move swiftly from that particular matter and go on into something else. And I want to share with us a video of an aspirant, Starehe constituency aspirant. His name is Steve Mbogo. And Steve Mbogo is known to be a controversial man. He has sparked a conversation about the New World Order. And recently, I have been watching some of his videos. I understand he was on an X basis where he said that even what we call national treasures in Kenya, for example, the Nairobi National Park, he said the land on which the Nairobi National Park is not owned by the government, but this particular land is under a company known as a Royal Parks. And this sparked a conversation about what we call national treasures and are they actually even owned by the government. Another national treasure is the example of the KICC. And at some point, I had a conversation where people were saying, oh, the KICC should be privatized so that it's owned by an individual, and we might even lose that particular national icon, and so many other things. But let me go into one of these videos. And Steve Mbogo was giving some advice to the president some days ago before he came up on this other recent interview. This was the previous one. Let us hear what he was saying, and we shall be giving our flag.
We want Kenyans. Steve Mbogo hapa. Now mine goes to the president. Mr. President, many of us spoke to you quite a number of times, and we warned you against your engagement with the globalists, specifically the globalist organizations such as the World Bank, the IMF, and the World Economic Forum. Many times, I, as Steve Mbogo, have mentioned to you clearly that these globalists will use you, misuse you, and abuse you. Today, as we speak, Mr. President, I'm glad you've started seeing what I foresaw months ago. From your recent sentiments that you lamented, you were very clear, and you mentioned that there are foreign powers that are planning to remove you from power. Mr. President, I repeat and I will say that the whites, or rather the globalists, the Western countries and America, are people who are not fond of a leader who becomes unpopular to the masses. Today, they had categorized you as one of their best friends, to the fact that they mentioned you as a non-member NATO ally. I want to remind you, Mr. President, that the NATO meeting 2024 summit was just concluded yesterday in Washington, D.C. All the 32 countries plus their non-member NATO allies and friends were in attendance. But I'm very sure you're not invited, simply because they are planning to do away with you. It is time you wake up and understand that the interests of Kenyans should come first, rather than the interests of the globalists who are turning against you right now. Today, when you look at the global media, a majority of all these media houses are tarnishing Kenya's name and branding you as a leader who is very unpopular to his people, or rather the nation. Mr. President, it is now time for you to understand that the interests of Kenyans must and should come first before the interests of the West. Many a times I have mentioned, and I have said it again and again, that the globalists used you and fixed you and put you in a position whereby they were very clear. Today in the entire global media, IMF is clearly saying they had predicted chaos in Kenya, simply because they forced you to implement and forced your members of parliament to implement, or rather to pass, the Finance Bill 2024, which was drafted by them, knowing very well that Kenyans will revolt. It is time you wake up, Mr. President, and the earlier, the better.
That is a bit of a video that was by the one and only Steve Mbogo. Yeah. And Steve Mbogo was actually saying something. He did say that these leaders, you know, that have the president is showing loyalty to and allegiance to. Sorry about that. I was saying that those particular individuals that are seen to have taken the loyalty of the president, for example, Biden and other people like that, what has happened in the previous months is that we have seen the president seemingly more busy with what is happening outside there and forgetting to focus really on what is happening inside here. You know, you're there taking tours. This weekend, you're going to Paris. There's a meeting for I don't know who. And there's another climate meeting in Brazil next weekend. And another one in Canada the other week. Another one in Switzerland for the IMF. Another one in... So what was happening is that he was seen to be much more focused on what was happening outside. And then he forgot what was happening inside. And so Steve Mbogo was actually telling him that the priorities or the people whose interests he should actually be seeking to fulfill is the interest of the Kenyan people. Forget about those other people that you're trying to go please and do those other things for. You're out there trying to be seen as this global leader. You're going to do what the US needs you to do in Haiti because, for example, with the Haiti situation, Kenyans are really not even close to Haiti anywhere. And I don't think we have had any kind of a long diplomatic relationship with Haiti for a long time. But nonetheless, the president of the US and the government of the US called on Kenya to go and handle the US business in Haiti. And now that is why we do have Kenyan soldiers in Haiti doing what they're doing on the in that particular country. But what is your opinion about this video by Steve Mbogo and Steve Mbogo's sentiments when it comes to what his advice is to the president?
Yeah, I think at first the president was always concerned with the outside issues, and that's why the disconnect when people kept on saying he's not in touch with what is happening here, or he's so focused on like one thing and not the other. So those are some of the issues that we actually have with him even today. He's just not understanding like the people's perspectives plus his perspective. They are not in line. So that's the issue there. I think it was good views that Steve had, and actually I also want to ask you about this JKIA thing because I'm still on the matter of as far as much as sorry we don't agree with the president. I feel like there's a way to go through the like our issues. I just don't think this maandamano system is working anymore.
I did see that particular hashtag, which is Occupy TK. For some reason, I thought that was a joke. At some point, I thought people were doing so much memes on X. And in the morning when I logged on X, I was just checking and I seen people doing all sorts of memes. They're on the plane. I don't know. They're going to New York. They are. I looked at the whole thing and I thought this is actually a big joke.
Yes, and people are saying watajipata US.
How would you do? Anyhow, let me not get much into that because I do not know about the facts of that particular movement and why it is. But I won't talk about music even as we proceed. I won't talk about music and the entertainment. Sorry, Victoria Kimani has new music and Kenyans are excited. And I just want to share this particular jam, and then you shall give me a review, and then you shall talk about Biden, and then we shall be winding up on today's broadcast. But Victoria Kimani is a darling for Kenyan music lovers. She has been in the industry for more than 12 years, if I'm not mistaken, and she has stayed consistent, and she does it with a whole lot of grace. There are people who do music, and you think, oh, they are forcing it, but for Victoria Kimani, she's not forcing it. This is a passion of hers. And let me share this particular one jam and let me know how you feel. It's known as My Shine. It features Joshua Baraka from Uganda, I believe. And let me know how you guys feel about this particular one with Joshua Baraka. It's known as My Shine. No one can actually steal her shine, and no one, hakuna mtu anaweza mwibia nyota yake. Basically, that is what she's saying. If this was a gospel song, it would be nyota yangu. But anyway, let me play this jam.
No. It took some time. I tried to fight, but got pushed to the side. I realized my blessings only come through the Most High. Yeah. All my life, they told me no, despite my sacrifice. But that's alright. I know no one can ever take what's mine. Ain't nobody taking my shine. I put in the work and the time. Everything I do is so divine. Giving them pressure every time. Ain't nobody taking my shine. Put in the work anytime. Them know the girls so divine. Giving them pressure every time.
Okay. Blessed and highly favored. They can try, but they can never get in between me and my paper. My story is a movie, real life cinema. Few sins in and you cry yourself a river. I am a soldier, headshot to all the haters and creepers. Sometimes it's hard, but I make it look easy. My fire never stop burning.
All my life, they told me no, despite my sacrifice. But that's alright. I know no one can ever take what's mine. Ain't nobody taking my shine. I put in the work and the time. Everything I do so divine. Giving them pressure every time. Ain't nobody taking my shine. Put in the work and the time. Them know the girls so divine.
Yes, ain't nobody taking my shine, and everything I do is just so divine. If you get to ask me, I would just say that for Victoria Kimani, for Victoria Kimani, she's actually doing the most, and she's one of the most talented artists. When it comes to the collaboration with Joshua Baraka, I think she chose the right person to actually get to collaborate with, and it shows even in the result of the end result of that particular song. Katie, you're saying the goal is to completely paralyze the economy. I did see, what is her name? These are Nairobi women representative. Women representative? What's her name? What's the name of a Nairobi women representative? Rachel. Women rep tunamuita aje wa huku. What's her name again?
You're breaking.
Nauliza aje women representative wa Nairobi ni mgani? What's her name again? I saw her making the same comments. What's her name?
Sorry, I don't know.
Her name is Esther Passaris. I was looking for that particular name. Her name is Esther Passaris. Yes. Ilikuwa nitafuta hiyo jina. Esther Passaris for some reason anajua kukorogana na watu kwa social media. If you go to social media right now, utakosa Esther Passaris akiwa na beef na mtu. There is probably some beef happening. But she was saying that the Gen Z's wanaharibu economy nini and all those other things. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, let me tell you something. This is Gen Z's year. If they decide tomorrow to wake up and go to the airport and fly out to New York, like the leaders have been doing, that is what they will do tomorrow. Even though watafanya kesho asubuhi. But nonetheless, that is what has been happening. For that particular jam I played you, I hope that you love it. It's by Victoria Kimani. And also, as we wind up on this particular episode of this particular podcast, I want to talk about Joe Biden in the U.S. I want to talk about the U.S. and the Democrats and Republicans are raised to the White House. What has been happening is that Biden and Trump, they actually did have a debate recently. Wakakuwa na debate, na many people did say that Biden was not up to the task. Walisema he was not rather coherent. Hakuwa anajua exactly, those questions, what's going on. And therefore, people did feel that anawaangusha, And so many people for the Democratic Party said, why not get out of the race and have someone else come and do it, One of the things it had to do with his capability, his well-being. Walisema kwamba he's not up to the task because he's of old age, miaka yake inamkataza. And people also did say that apart from him being old, that he was not well. People have claimed that he has dementia. And Biden, for me, from what I do get to understand, Biden and Trump, the age difference is not so much. I think Trump is 79 and Biden is like 81. I'm not sure the age gap, but it's not so much. So right now, Biden has decided to bow out of the presidential race, and it seems that he has given his backup, all his support, all his backing to the VP, Kamala Harris. But the question is right now with many people, is Kamala Harris ready for the task? That has been a question. And on Twitter, for those who are actually on X, so many people are bringing up her old videos or saying, oh, she came up because she was involved with some people. She used to be, I think, a mistress for someone who was in power, back in the 90s and all those things. She actually got her entry into, these big stage because of her relationships with some people. And those relationships are really not known very, very well. And so many things that have been talked about Kamala Harris. But as we wind up, Rachel, what is your opinion of Biden buying out? And do you think Kamala Harris is ready for the task?
Actually, I thought Biden backing out was good
Yeah,
because I feel like he was already losing.
yeah,
So they needed like somebody else who is
yeah,
going to be good enough
yeah,
to run alongside Trump. But I
yeah.
don't know about the option they went with because actually Kamala Harris is okay. There are people who love her. They wanted to make her.
Usikiki vizuri.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I'm saying that I don't know about the option that they
Yeah,
went with
yeah,
because mostly I don't know about other communities, but the
yeah,
black people are actually saying that Kamala Harris never did anything during
yeah,
this reign, and
yeah,
she's not competitive. Like she's not going to be a good leader in terms of presidency,
yeah.
but she's backed with so many political leaders. That's an advantage. She's
All
backed
right.
with so many people.
Yeah, I would say when it comes to choice, I think it might be too early to, of course, tell whether it's going to work out. But what I do feel that she might be at a disadvantaged position because sometimes when it comes to women, we have not had a woman president in the U.S. They wanted to have Hillary Clinton, to become the one, and then she failed, and then now getting a woman president is difficult. And also, Kamala Harris is not white, and she's not either black. I think she's a half caste of an Indian and a black person, and that is where the problem just comes in. And that is the problem. But nonetheless, we just want to keep our eyes on that, see how that pans out. For now, we shall be winding up on today's episode of the podcast show live. And Njeri, you're so much welcome. I used to host shows with Njeri. You're so much welcome to join us very soon on the show and just keep it interactive and conversational on these particular shows. Inaweza donjo sana, like Gen Zs would say, itadonjo. But anyhow, kesho tupatane airport. Walisema tupatane Tuesday. I don't know what time your flight will be, but kesho Gen Z water. Apparently, it seems like the whole point is that occupy JKA. But nonetheless, we shall be going live once again very, very soon, probably on Wednesday and Friday. So make sure to join us on our Wednesday and Friday as well on the show. For now, it's me, your homeboy Spikes, signing out. Rachel, leo internet inakukataa kabisa. Rachel, internet leo inakukataa kabisa. But as we're winding up, give us your final feedback or your closing remarks.
My internet is
Leo imekukataa. Just give us your closing remarks as you wind up.
about Trump or what were you speaking on right now?
I was talking about that elections in the US, but nasema, what will be your closing remark tukifunga show?
Yeah, for me, I don't think Kamala is going to win at all. Like she doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
From the moment Trump already won.
Yeah. Apparently that is also the feeling by and Jerry here. Nonetheless, guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. I want to wish you a happy and a productive rest of the day, and I do hope that you are able to catch up with us also on the subsequent episode on Wednesday afternoon and also on Friday afternoon. For now, I want to sign out. Thank you so much. Till next time, kwaheri. Njeri, asanti. Kesho ni airport, tupatane asubuhi na mapema. Kwaheri.